Okay. Good morning, everyone. That was a little loud. Welcome. We're happy to have you all here for our City Council workshop portion of our meeting. We would ask if you would please silence your cell phones. And workshop is an opportunity for council and staff to discuss any agenda items that we need to talk about before the regular meeting, as well as to get some presentations. So first, I will ask council if there are any agenda items you want to discuss before our meeting. There being none, we will move on. We welcome members of our Cultural Resources Committee. Thank you all for being here today. And they are going to give us an update on the American Sign Language I Love You statute update. Good morning.
Morning. Mayor Bethune and members of council, thank you very much for having us here this morning. We're wanting to talk to you about I love you. That's American Sign Language sign for I love you. The city of Myrtle Beach we have been contacted with the Cultural Resources Committee, is planned to present to the city of Myrtle Beach and city council leadership an artwork project that is to be donated to the city from the South Carolina Association of the Blind Foundation, Deaf and Blind Foundation. A location for the statue has been proposed, and to support the growing desire for more art in the Arts and Innovation District, this would be a first stop for the Friday Art Walk, first Friday Art Walk, and a very popular thing in downtown Myrtle Beach. We've been looking for statuary and public art, and this would be a wonderful addition. The proposed ceremony for the installation of this will be on April the 15th, which is National American Sign Language Day. And the I Love You is a 9-foot high, handmade out of hundreds of smaller hands that were traced and then cut out of steel, with the pinky finger raised, thumb extended. It makes the American Sign Language sign for I Love You, and was created by artist Bob Doster, working with the students from the South Carolina School for the Deaf and Blind. I have with me John, who's going to sit there and go through the individual logistics relative to this statute.
Morning, Council, Mayor. Also want to
Morning.
thank staff, because staff has been extremely paramount in the process. Brian Schmidt from the Economic Development Department, as well as Chris Miller and multiple other departments have been involved in this. If we could go to the next slide, please.
You have a clicker there, John, right there.
Oh, beautiful, thank you.
Center button.
Center button, thank you, sir. So this is the proposed location for it that has been approved by the Community Appearance Board. The star is in front of the new parking lot for the First Methodist Church, and it will cover up what is currently a green utility box. Next slide, please. Never mind, sorry. Right here. There we go. So that is approximately to scale. Statue is 9 feet tall, approximately a 4x4 foot base. The top, as you see, is the stainless steel, which is very low maintenance, even in our coastal salt air area. The base is called a Corten steel. It's very common in art and industrial applications. So when it is installed, it will already have sort of a pre-rusted look, but it is designed to have that rust and go to a certain level, and then it stays there. So this is not something, it does require a little bit of maintenance, but it's low maintenance in terms of cost, as well as time required for maintenance, which is great for staff and for the city. Next slide.
You got it.
You have a clicker.
I keep doing that. Look at that. Thank you. I love you too. I love you too. So this is the sidewalk. As you can see, like we said, 9 feet tall. This area is, in the next couple of months, going to be in June approximately, is going to be worked on for the new streetscape that you folks have been so graciously doing for the city. Until then, it will be here. If there comes a time when the statue has to be temporarily moved, then it will be moved to a secure location and then brought back to the location after the project is done, which is approximately October of 2025. So here you can see the scale. This is where it is currently in storage. So you see, imagine a standard ceiling or slightly above that. That is how tall it is. So you can really get an idea of how tall it is in person. No additional landscaping around it. As you can see, the church already has landscaping behind the location, as well as we are enhancing that because it will be covering up the view of a utility box, which of course not too many people want to see. In the future, it will require some additional site work to provide a concrete level base. So once the statue's out there, if it's not sitting quite right, there might have to be some alterations. No additional electrical proposed for the site. It is secure with 4 anchors. So there are anchors on each corner of the statue, so we don't have to worry about it going away or being taken, or safety aspects in terms of tipping over in high winds. It's also extremely heavy. The great part about this statue, other than all the parts we've already discussed, is it's meant to be interacted with. So we don't have to worry if someone decides to touch it or take a picture with it, how great, because we get to highlight your art and innovation district so that everyone can know what's there, and that not only are we supporting arts in this district, but also great organizations like the South Carolina School for the Deaf and Blind. At the ceremony, the children and staff members and parents from the South Carolina School for Deaf and Blind do want to and are planning actively to make a trip here on April 15th around noonish, because it's a day trip for them coming from toward the upstate. Great for them. There will be singing. There will be signing of sign language on the American Day for Sign Language in our country, as well as, Brian, I'm missing a part. On that particular day, we do want to invite council out to there as well as the public, so we're going to work with Meredith and Patrick from the communications department so we can make sure everyone can be there and know what's going on. Any questions?
Council?
Good job.
Thank you so much, sir. And the next part for you folks, on April 8th, it will be coming back to you for a vote to accept the statue as well.
I do have one question.
Yes, ma'am.
How was this location determined?
So our biggest, there were a lot of discussions. So originally, we wanted to go on Main Street in a little triangle in front of the old venue store. Because of the construction there, it quickly became realized that that location was going to be torn up in a big way for a longer period of time. So then we had discussions with the church to look at a corner of 9th and Kings, and then we also told them about this location. It was really important to the committee to start filling the Art and Innovation District with art. So everyone on the committee really agreed that we wanted to focus on the Art and Innovation District, and this is where we landed.
But it can be moved if
Absolutely.
needed.
Yep, so we anticipate it will be moved with the construction going on. With it being on 9th, we thought it could also have an opportunity to bring some awareness to the businesses in the city-owned storefronts on 9th, so that when folks are coming to park, whether it be on the street or hopefully long-term in the parking lot across as well, this is the first thing they see, is a beautiful piece of art.
It is pretty.
Nice.
Thank you. Brian?
Hi, good morning. I just wanted to touch on some of those key dates that John mentioned, the April 8th meeting. That would be something that we would like to bring an official donor agreement back to you for official vote. This is something that we want to establish, the committee wants to establish as a baseline. I suspect we've had donated artwork in the past, but this is something that we can use going forward. Wanted to very quickly highlight this before we get to the April 8th meeting. This is a pretty solid agreement that the donor and the city will sign and agree together. Parts may be negotiated from time to time in this, but we've already sort of identified that. It starts with the donor acknowledging that they have the right to donate the artwork, the city becoming the sole ownership at that point. The initial location was already agreed upon in this case, so that's set up in the artwork, but the city retains the rights to move it at our sole discretion. So to build on the question you asked, we can move it to the other side of the sidewalk, we can move it to a different area of the city. It's our right to do that. The donors are always responsible for delivering the artwork, and negotiating case by case, we may incur some costs for the installation. Not everything will be as simple, so it could be electrical, it could be water, and we would have to negotiate that piece. Regarding maintenance, we ask that the donor provide the recommended maintenance plan, but it is still at our discretion to determine the level and frequency that we maintain the art. There's a deaccession paragraph, and so with that, it also includes that neither party is responsible to replace the artwork, whether it's for whatever loss. It's ours to maintain, to go through the deaccession process if that's required. And finally, to wrap it up, the artist always retains the intellectual property. So that's basically in a nutshell what we have for the donor agreement, and we're really excited to bring it back on April 8th and shoot for that April 15th target.
All right, thank you.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you all for being here. Okay, that is everything that we have on our agenda for workshop. We do have several executive session items. During workshop, we will we'll go into executive session to discuss negotiations with North Myrtle Beach concerning water transmission rights and participation in the construction of a new transmission line. The next executive session to discuss negotiations concerning contractual arrangement involving Lakewood Campground. And finally, to receive legal advice relating to beach safety. We will have one more executive session that will be at the end of our council meeting, so we will vote on that one separately. For these executive session items, we will invite Fox Simons, Will Bryan, Brian Tucker, Josh Bruger, Michelle Schumpert, Marla Bell, Meredith Denari, and Amy New Schaefer. Is there a motion to go into executive session?
So moved.
Second.
Motion from Mr. Louder, second from Dr. Connor. Any discussion from council?
Mayor, I will recuse myself from the first one.
Thank you. And Councilwoman Hatley will get with the clerk and fill out the proper paperwork for that. Any discussion from the public? All those in favor? Aye. Aye. All those opposed? Motion carries. We will go into the jury room. there a motion to? Got it. Is there a motion to come out of executive session?
So moved.
Second.
Motion from Mr. Louder, second from Dr. Connor. Any discussion from council? Any discussion from the public? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All those opposed, motion carries. And it is 10 a.m., so we will begin our council meeting. Good morning, everyone, and welcome. We're so happy to have you all here with us today. I would ask you, please, if you would silence your cell phones. And if you wish, you may stand and join council for today's invocation and the Pledge of Allegiance. Dr. Connor will lead us today.
Please join me. Heavenly Father, we come before you today with grateful hearts, seeking your wisdom, guidance, and grace as we gather for this city council meeting. Thank you for the opportunity to serve our community and work toward the well-being of all who call this city home. Grant us clarity of mind and unity of purpose as we discuss the matters before us. Help us to listen with open hearts, speak with kindness and respect, and make decisions that promote justice, peace, and prosperity. May we always be mindful of those in need and strive to lead with integrity, fairness, and compassion. Bless this city, its leaders, employees, and citizens. Keep us safe, strengthen our community, and guide us. In your name we pray, amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Our first issue today is the approval of our agenda. Is there a motion to approve?
Mayor, before we approve the agenda, I want to make a motion to, I'd ask to continue item 2025-28.
Ordinance 2025-28, which is on page 3 of today's agenda. That item is council is asking that that be continued.
Second.
Okay, motion was made for Mr. Chestnut, second from Mr. Smith. Any discussion from council? Any discussion from the public? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All those opposed, motion carries. May I please have a motion to approve our meeting minutes from March 11th, 2025?
So moved.
Motion from Mr. Louder, second from Mr. Chestnut. Any discussion from council? Any discussion from the public? All those in favor? Aye. Aye. All those opposed, motion carries.
Madam Mayor, can we have a motion to approve the amended agenda?
Thank you, Mr. Attorney. The motion made was to amend today's agenda to continue ordinance 2025-28. I will ask for another motion to approve the amended agenda.
So moved.
Second.
Motion from Mr. Louder, second from Mr. Chestnut. Any discussion from council? Any discussion from the public? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All those opposed, motion carries. Thank you. We have a very special presentation this morning from DC Blocks, and we welcome them here. And who is going to come forward for this?
Good morning, Mayor, Mayor Pro Tem, and members of council. This morning, we're going to take just a few minutes to talk about a motion that you have on the consent agenda, that is motion 2025-27, regarding a donation from DC Blocks to support our Living Lab program and the qualified participants and the seed funding that's there for them, as established by Resolution 2025-1 earlier this year. So with that, I just wanted to turn the floor over to Bill Thompson with DC Blocks. He is their Vice President of Marketing and Production. So wanted to turn it over to him to share a few words, and just Bill, on behalf of the city, should council accept this donation, we just wanted to thank DC Blocks for your continued partnership with us and helping drive this new digital and innovation economy that is really taken. So So thank you for your continued partnership and serving as that catalyst.
Thank you, Howard, and we appreciate the opportunity to be before you and for your consideration of our donation to the Living Lab program. We're excited to be a part of the burgeoning tech industry here in Myrtle Beach, and we believe the Living Lab program is a great motivator and inspire and program to support that initiative. We, as representatives of DC Blocks, my representation of DC Blocks, we're very thankful for all of the support from the city and the county and beyond on the support for our cable landing station project. As you know, it takes many approvals and it takes a lot of work to get that project going, and we couldn't have done it without the support of this council and many beyond, so thank you for that. A little bit of an update on the cable landing station itself. Our first cable, the Google Fermina cable, is now live. It is now connecting and sending traffic from Myrtle Beach to South America. In addition to that, the Fermina cable has space being leased to global communications carriers in Brazil and South America to be able to carry traffic from that country through Myrtle Beach to other destinations in the United States. We have 2 of those partners that are now building into the facility and more on the way. Also, terrestrial carriers, national carriers and international carriers here in the United States, Windstream being one of them, are now building into the facility as well to carry that international traffic locally and then nationally. Windstream will be carrying their first customers' traffic up to North Carolina and Virginia and down through Florida. So the cable landing station project is being launched and is now live. The second cable from Google, the Nuvum cable that will connect into Portugal, should go live later this summer, and we'll start seeing traffic by the end of the year. And then the Meta Añana cable, which is going to be connecting into Santander, Spain, will be later this year as well. As you know, we have capacity for 5 cables, so the 2 additional cables in our cable landing station are now reserved. There has not been a public announcement on what those cables are and where they're going to be going, but they are reserved, which would tap out our existing facility. As you know, we also have the rights to purchase the property next door, and that will provide the capacity for 4 additional cables should we see demand in the region for those cables, and by all indications right now, that is very likely to occur. So stay tuned for more news. So appreciate again all the support and the opportunity to participate in the community, and look forward to more exciting things ahead. Thank you.
Thank you. And I want to say that this is a very generous contribution, and we thank you for that. When we get to that item on our agenda, we'll discuss it more thoroughly. But I also want to thank DC Blocks for supporting our efforts with the State House last year with our budget request. That greatly helped us receive the money for the Living Lab, so thank you all. Thank you so much. Let's give DC Blocks a Okay, we'll now have a presentation of South Carolina Law Enforcement Accreditation, Inc., and Brian Murphy is going to come talk with us about that. And the chief.
I want to take the opportunity to introduce Sheriff Carter Weaver from Georgetown County. He's going to do the presentation today. Thank you.
Thank you. Good morning, Mayor.
Good
Council.
morning.
It's a great day to be in Myrtle Beach. Thank you for having us. It's my distinct pleasure to be here to present the accreditation, South Carolina Law Enforcement Accreditation, to the Myrtle Beach Police Department and Chief Proc. Accreditation signifies a commitment to excellence, professionalism, and accountability, and it demonstrates a dedication to meeting the highest standards of law enforcement in South Carolina. This accreditation is a testament to the hard work and dedication of the officers and staff of the Myrtle Beach Police Department. Accreditation enhances public trust, and confidence in law enforcement, leading to stronger relationships between the police and the community. It also helps to ensure that this agency is operating efficiently, effectively, and providing the best possible services to the citizens of Myrtle Beach. I would like to express my sincere gratitude to Chief Proc and Accreditation Manager Captain Brian Murphy and her entire leadership team for their unwavering commitment to achieving and maintaining accreditation. Your dedication and hard work have made this achievement possible. We also want to not forget the community of Myrtle Beach itself. Without their support of the Myrtle Beach Police Department, this department could not provide the professional services and safety to all citizens. And also to the mayor and council for your support of your police department. Your support makes it invaluable, and you also create that bridge between your community and the police department that it serves. It is now my honor to present the Accreditation Award to Chief Proc, and if I may, South Carolina Law Enforcement Accreditation Incorporated, Myrtle Beach Police Department has demonstrated dedication to excellence and professionalism in South Carolina law enforcement through voluntary compliance to specific standards designed to enhance the professional delivery of law enforcement services, and is recognized as a leader in South Carolina law enforcement and is hereby awarded this certificate of accreditation. Congratulations.
Council. It's been my honor to lead the department through this process. As some of you may know, it's taken us a little over 3 years to go completely through it. And I won't bore you with all the details, but I will tell you there's 304 standards that you need to meet for accreditation. And this process has allowed us the vehicle to go through all of our policies to make sure that they are both professional and state-of-the-art, and that we are providing the most efficient service that we can to you and the members of the public. So we went through the process of our procedures. Thankfully, most of them were already in line. We had to make a few changes to maybe some wording, but most of them were already in line. And then after that process of making sure all of our procedures were effective, then we had to go through the process of proving that we actually do what our procedures say we do. So now we have a vehicle that shows us that not only can we say we're professional, but we can actually prove that we are a professional organization. So I appreciate all the teamwork from our department, going through the process of changing our policies, and then also of providing the proofs was a complete team effort, and we want to thank everybody for that, and I appreciate y'all's support as well. Thank you.
Thank you.
I first want to say thank you to Sheriff Weaver for coming up and presenting that today so that we can show our community and our council and management staff the hard work that's been put into it. I definitely want to say thank you to all of those who supported us as well as our team. And also I want to definitely say thank you to Captain Murphy. If you did not know, Captain Murphy is retiring on the 3rd of April. And I would be amiss if I did not share my gratitude, my thanks as a partner and as a friend, as a partner in law enforcement and this wonderful career and profession that we have. And I just want to say thank you for all of your hard work for this process, which has been absolutely an amazing process. And we thank the Accreditation Board for their support through this, as well as our partners in law enforcement and our community. So this has been definitely a great process, and we're glad that we were able to accomplish it, and we'll continue to do so. We have a commitment to do so to our community and to our city. So thank you so much.
Thank you. We now have a proclamation declaring the month of March as National Procurement Month.
Come on down, guys. We are going to do this a little differently this time. Ann and Patrick have creatively been working together, and they made a video to show what our procurement team does, for those who do not know, because it is quite amazing. And so after I read this proclamation, we'll share the video and then give Ann and anyone else an opportunity to say a few words. All right. National Procurement Month, March 2025. Whereas the public procurement profession plays a significant role in the efficiency and effectiveness of both government and business, and whereas the City of Myrtle Beach Procurement Division's mission is to bridge city goals with vendor resources to achieve the best value for our community, and whereas the procurement process ensures that the spending of taxpayer dollars meets all legal and ethical requirements, and whereas the City of Myrtle Beach's Procurement Division issued 200 purchase orders totaling more than $16 million, issued 160 service agreements with a value of more than $42 million, and issued more than 58,000 items to staff, accounting for a daily average of 240 items during the 2025 fiscal year. And whereas the Procurement Division continues to advance our procurement practices to the highest level through collaborative relationships, efficient processes, and outstanding service. Now, therefore, be it proclaimed that the City of Myrtle Beach hereby recognizes March as National Procurement Month and honors the hard work and dedication of our staff. And be it further proclaimed that the City of Myrtle Beach designates Wednesday, March 12th, which has already passed, as Procurement Professionals Day in the City of Myrtle Beach. And we do appreciate you every day of the year. Signed and sealed this 25th day of March, 2025. And I believe Patrick is bringing up video.
Figures, doesn't it?
Sorry, Ann.
Management of materials, goods, and services from its inception right up to its disposition. It's also a process by which we maintain transparency of government spending and uphold fairness for our vendor community. Our materials are governed by our warehouse team, and they stock things like personal protective equipment, water sewer parts, batteries, paper products, coffee, important things. We do a lot of technical work. We do a lot of protocol work. Before we begin anything, I need to tell you that you will need insurance. Sometimes we have to take the contractors through a project site so they can see exactly what they're expecting to build, the environment that they're working in, the materials they're going to have to order to make the job come together. We auction our surplus items so that the community has an opportunity to purchase what they might be able to use. And that can range anything from furniture, vehicles, exercise equipment, anything that the city is not going to maintain or use or we've replaced since then. It's a lot of paperwork, and I stare at spreadsheets, and that can be draining during the day. But when I go home at night and I'm watching the TV and I see a news report about a new project or a new thing that's being purchased, I can sit back and go, I had a part in that in making my city better.
Madam Mayor, esteemed council, and city leadership, thank you for this recognition and honor. The mission of the Procurement Division is to bridge city goals with vendor resources to achieve the best value for all of us in the community. And our vision is to continually advance the value of our public procurement practices to the highest level through collaborative relationships with our city staff and local vendors, through efficient processes to secure our needed goods and services, and through outstanding service to benefit our community. Our vision for this year is one of growth. In 2025, we either have welcomed or will welcome 2 new team members, and we have 2 other team members who are eligible for professional certification this year. Let me introduce the team that I have. We have Stephanie Morgan Doyle, who serves as a buyer. We have what I collectively call the gentlemen of the warehouse, Kevin King and Rob Colvin. Also on our staff is another buyer, Brandon Hancock. He is not with us today because he is serving jury duty. And our senior office administrator, Miss Gina Hansel, who is keeping the lights on for us back at the ranch. I'd like to invite everyone to our open house tomorrow. It'll be an opportunity to meet your buyers and warehouse staff, to come see what we do every day, and to have a time of fellowship with our city teammates. Again, we thank you for this proclamation. We hope to see you tomorrow, and we look forward to serving our city in 2025. Thank you.
Good job, though. Thank you.
All right, while they're going around, I'd like to invite all the ladies of the audience to please come down and stand behind me for the Women's History Month proclamation.
Thank you.
Great job.
Yeah, come on, Kathy. Let's go.
Thank you very much.
Can't do this one alone.
Is that
Over there at the
10th Avenue?
On down.
On the left.
All right, we can just file around and make like a big C. Michelle, Marla?
You're going to go down in history.
All right, this one's a little longer, so I'll go ahead and start as we come on down. Thank you, ladies. All right, Women's History Month, March 2025. Whereas from reaching for the ballot box to breaking barriers in the boardroom, the battlefield, and the athletic field, in short, in all areas of endeavor, American women have stood resolute in the face of adversity and overcome obstacles to realize their full measure of success, our full measure of success. And whereas, thanks to the courage and example of American women who came before us, women in our country now scale the skies as astronauts, expand our economy as entrepreneurs and business leaders, and serve our country at the highest levels of government and our armed forces. And whereas, in addition to these national roles, countless women in our community have been instrumental in shaping the success of the city of Myrtle Beach in every capacity. And whereas March 8th, 2025 was designated as International Women's Day, a global celebration of the economic, political, and social achievements of women past, present, and future. And whereas during Women's History Month, we reflect on the extraordinary accomplishments of women and honor their roles in charting the course of history in our nation, our state, and our city. And whereas we acknowledge the women who shaped our nation and our community through their perseverance and honor their legacy by teaching our daughters that no obstacle is too great and that no ceiling can block their ascent. Now, therefore, be it proclaimed that the City of Myrtle Beach City Council hereby designates March 2025 as Women's History Month in Myrtle Beach and encourages everyone to learn about women's history and the continual quest for equality, freedom, and opportunity for all. All right, and ladies? I think that's all we have. Thank you, everybody. We appreciate it.
Thank you all.
Okay, and next we have a proclamation recognizing March 16th through the 22nd as National Safe Place Week.
Is Janique in the audience? All right, well, I thought she was going to be here today to accept this, but I will go ahead and read it. Janique from Safe Haven? Sea Haven? All right. National Safe Place Week, March 16th through 22nd, 2025. Whereas every young person deserves a safe and supportive environment in which to thrive, and our community is dedicated to ensuring the well-being of our youth. And whereas Sea Haven for Youth has been a beacon of hope for young people in crisis, serving as the designated safe place agency for Horry County and providing immediate help and supportive services to youth in need. And whereas National Safe Place Week is a time to raise awareness about the importance of safe and accessible resources facing homelessness, abuse, neglect, or other crises. And whereas the City of Myrtle Beach proudly supports Sea Haven for Youth's mission and the vital role the organization plays in protecting and empowering the youth in our community. And whereas we extend our gratitude to the dedicated community partners, businesses, and organizations who work tirelessly to keep our city safe for the young people and families in our community, ensuring that every young person has the opportunity to reach their full potential. Now, therefore, be it proclaimed that the Myrtle Beach City Council hereby designates March 16th through 22nd, 2025 as National Safe Place Week in Myrtle Beach and encourages others to learn about the National Safe Place Network and work together to ensure all young people have access to safety, resources, and hope. All right. Thank you very much.
And now we'll have our Communications and Creative Services update.
Hey, City Council, Chastity Pendergrass here with your communications update. Doug Shaw Memorial Stadium is in the middle of its busiest time of the year. Myrtle Beach's spring break meets have welcomed nearly 2,000 track and field athletes to our facility at the Collegiate Challenge and the Allen Connie Shamrock Invitational. The Beach Run Invitational and Conference Carolinas Conference Championship are next. Thanks to all who joined us for a special tour of the 24th Avenue North Deepwater Ocean Outfall. The educational visit showed us how extensive this $42 million project truly is. It's on schedule, too, to finish early next year. The fire department gave the Civilian Life-Saving Award to Michael Bradford. The 18-year-old saved Lenny Arcieri's life after he went into cardiac arrest last year in August. Thank you, Michael, for exemplifying what it means to be a true hero. The fire and police departments are nearing the end of the 5-week hostile event training at the General Robert H. Reed Recreation Center. The training helps police and fire department members prepare for emergency situations based on recent hostile events across the country. Hundreds of families brought their four-legged friends to Mardi Paws. Dogs were dressed to the nines as their owners enjoyed music, food, vendors, crafts, and games at Grand Park in the Market Common. Thanks to all who attended. The Run to the Sun car show brought more than 3,500 classic cars, vendors, and spectators to the old Myrtle Square Mall site. The event continues to be one of the most popular gatherings in the city. The deadline is tomorrow to buy a military banner to honor a veteran. The banners will be placed along Ocean Boulevard and Harrelson Boulevard. You can find the link to buy yours on the Myrtle Beach City Government Facebook page. The John T. Rhodes Myrtle Beach Sports Center turns 10 years old this week. A celebration will take place Thursday at 1. We can't wait to see everyone there. That's all for now. I hope you have a great rest of your day.
All right, thank you. And now I'll ask if we have any non-agenda items from the public.
Yes, Your Honor. Pamela Williams.
Good morning.
Thank you.
Would you please state your address for us, please?
It is 408 Surf Wind Drive in Myrtle's Inlet.
Thank you.
First of all, my name is Pamela Williams, and I have been in Myrtle Beach for the last 40-some years, and Myrtle Beach has been very good to me. And so I try to be good back. For the last several years, I've been very concerned with the way we have been dressing, and when I say that, in public and on the beach. I had a 10-year-old last year asking me on the beach why this woman was showing her butt. And so I told him I did not have an answer. So then I go to a public food, to a grocery store. I see the same thing. It's like no shoes, no behind. It's like, you know, I go to the door and it says shoes and, you know, whatnots that we're supposed to have on. And I go to the manager and they just shrug their shoulders. Then I have families that, you know, when they find out that I live here, they ask me, so what's going on with the bathing suits, if that's what you want to call it? And they said, we thought it was a family beach. And again, I tell them I have no answer. But you know what? I will find out. So that's why I'm here. I would just like to get educated and to see how we can make this better. So that's my story, and I'm sticking to it.
All right, thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.
That's it.
Okay. We will go on to today's consent agenda items, please.
Good morning, Mayor and members of council. For this morning's consent agenda, you have 4 items for your consideration. The first is second reading of ordinance 2025-23, granting a franchise agreement for operation of the rental business of conveyance regulated by Chapter 12, Article 5 of the Code of Ordinances of Myrtle Beach to Sarah Yockel, doing business as Every LLC, nothing over 799, located at 109 South Kings Highway, Myrtle Beach, South Carolina, 29577, for a period of 1 year. The agreement includes 20 golf cart decals. Next item is second reading of ordinance 2025-24, granting a franchise agreement for operation of rental business of conveyance as regulated by Chapter 12, Article 5 of the Code of Ordinances of Myrtle Beach to Zavica Elia, doing business as USA Resortwear LLC, located at 1301 South Kings Highway, Myrtle Beach, South Carolina, 29577, for a period of 1 year. The agreement includes 20 golf cart decals. The next is motion 2025-27, authorizing the city to accept a donation amount of $50,000 from DC Blocks for the purpose of providing seed funding to the Living Lab participants. There is no match requirement, and we had a brief update on that earlier this morning. And finally, there is motion 2025-28 to approve an MOU between the Myrtle Beach Police Department and the U.S. Capitol Police for interagency coordination within the city of Myrtle Beach.
All right, thank you. May I please have a motion to approve today's consent agenda?
So moved.
Okay, motion from Ms. Hatley, second from Mr. McClure. Any discussion from council?
Yes, ma'am. On the 2 golf cart issues, there's no addition to any for this year over what they had last year, correct?
There's no additions. They're same 25 as they were 24, and there's no LSVs.
Thank you.
Okay, any other discussion? Any discussion from the public? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All those opposed? Motion carries. And again, thank you to DC Blocks for your generosity. The first item on our regular agenda is the first reading of ordinance 2025-25.
Mayor, I'm going to recuse myself from this one as my wife is an employee of the property owner.
Okay, thank you.
First reading of ordinance 2025-25 to annex 5.31 acres on the corner of 29th Avenue North and Grissom, PIN number 42402040132, and to rezone the property from Horry County RC Resort Commercial to Myrtle Beach HC1 Highway Commercial.
It's a very simple request. The request that the property be annexed was unanimously approved by Planning Commission. Be glad to answer any questions or provide any further detail if necessary.
Okay, let us get a motion on the table first. Is there a motion to approve the first reading of ordinance 2025-25?
So moved.
Second.
Motion made from Mr. Louder, second from Dr. Connor. Any discussion or questions from council? All right, can you just explain for us and for the public the zoning for resort commercial and highway commercial, are those comparable to each
Yes,
other?
ma'am, they're very compatible, very compatible. That's, plus the HC2 matches well with what we already have in place, and there's not much of a difference between the HC2 and the RC.
All right, thank you. Any other discussion from council? Any discussion from the public? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All those opposed? Motion carries.
Thank y'all.
Thank you. The first reading of ordinance 2025-26.
First reading of ordinance 2025-26, approving the execution and delivery by the City of Myrtle Beach, South Carolina, of a lease termination agreement between the city as leaseor and La Mana Bread Company LLC as leasee with respect to the building located at 507 9th Avenue North in the City of Myrtle Beach.
Thank you, Jen. Good morning, Mayor, members of council. Happy to go through the details here. Don't know if you want to get a motion on the floor, or if you want me to cover this first.
Why don't you go through the details, and before we ask questions, we'll make a motion.
Yes, ma'am. As you all know, we own the property at 507 9th Avenue. That building has been leased from us for a number of years, since October 14th of 2021 by La Mana Bakery. I think most of you know, but just for the sake of communication, shortly after they opened, they had some personal issues, some health-related issues, and candidly have had a hard time balancing operating a small business and running a small business, being in there every day, and they continue to struggle. I think they made a decision late last year to try to sell the business. We've been working with a number of prospects over that period of time, trying to find the right match. We believe we have the right match, which is the next item on the agenda, but in conversations internally and with some of you, it makes a lot of sense, if we're going to terminate that lease, for us to have and control all of the furniture, fixtures, and equipment related to that business. It essentially provides us a move-in ready storefront and sort of lowers the threshold of entry into the market, and candidly, we're getting a good deal. The tenant spent over $400,000 in their upfit and the initial purchase of a lot of the equipment, and we are now getting a fully improved space. And once this passes, we will have all of the chairs, all of the tables, chairs, the refrigerators, the displays, utensils, all of the mixing equipment, all of the refrigerators and the ovens. And so, for the price of termination, I think, again, we do have an inventory of all of that. And again, happy to answer any questions. I think I hit most of the high spots, but happy to come back to answer questions.
Okay, may I please have a motion to approve the first reading of ordinance 2025-26?
So moved.
Second.
Motion made from Dr. Connor, second from Mr. Louder. Any discussion or questions from council?
I picked up some bread yesterday.
And they make really good bread.
Delicious bread.
They make really good bread. It's unfortunate.
And our continued thoughts and prayers with them. I know this was not an easy decision for them to make.
It has not been.
Is there any discussion from the public?
Coincidental, we had the procurement proclamation today, because if some of the equipment that we're getting isn't
Speak into the mic, please. Thank you.
closer, if the equipment that's being transferred with the lease isn't usable, be auctioned off? If it's not usable. Okay. So I'm sure when I stuck with an oven, we can't use it. Understood.
All of the equipment is very usable.
Did he say he wanted something out of there?
Yeah. You have your eyes on something, Alex? Okay.
Denise needed a new oven. Yeah.
Any other discussion from the public? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All those opposed? Motion carries. First reading of ordinance 2025-27.
First reading of ordinance 2025-27, approving the execution and delivery by the City of Myrtle Beach, South Carolina, of a lease between the city as leaseor and Winna's Kitchen LLC as leasee with respect to the building located at 507 9th Avenue North in the city of Myrtle Beach.
Thank you. Again, I will run through this one. Personally, I'm very excited to have windows even closer than they were prior. I'm a big fan. I will tell you that they were going through some growing pains. I think they were looking at their building being renovated. That renovation has stretched out and is going to take considerably longer than originally planned. And they are eager to maintain the momentum that they built in their Main Street location. And they are very excited to be coming to 9th Avenue, and we're very excited to have them come to 9th Avenue. Their longer-term plan would continue once the new building is ready, their old location is ready for reentry. They plan to maintain two different operations, two different business models, one in each location. The 9th Avenue location for the foreseeable future will be sort of their traditional breakfast, lunch service. And then once the new building is open down the road, they will be looking at more of a dinner service and a mercantile. So it'll be two very complementary uses. They do have an interest in maintaining both once that gets there, but this gets them back open and operational now. And again, very excited to have them on 9th Avenue. Again, Lamana was one of the first leases, if not the first lease, that we executed on 9th Avenue. And we've seen a pretty significant increase in the rent that we've been able to collect on this new lease. We've been collecting about $1,500 a month from Lamana. We will be at $2,500 a month plus taxes and utilities, so roughly $2,800 to $2,900 a month in this new lease. Winners will be leasing the building. They will also be leasing the equipment until such time that we can sell them the building. So they are very interested in actually buying the building in January of '27, which is the first opportunity we will have to sell that property because of the historic tax credits that were used to upfit the property. But they are interested in owning. They would then buy, at that point in time, they would buy both the building and the furniture at fair market value. The methodology of determining fair market value is laid out in the lease. They would bring us an appraisal. If we like the appraisal, then we can proceed with that. If we have questions about the appraisal, we can have our own done, and then there's a sort of a rubric of sorts that would allow us to determine property value, fair market value after that if we have to obtain two different leases. As you all know, they will take some time to get started up. They will be putting their own personal touch on the building. It's going to take them several months to get open for business, new signage, new decorations inside. You'll see that the lease calls for the first 3 months to be abated completely. The second 3 months would be at half rent until they're able to ramp up and get operational. And then they will be at a steady lease payment for the duration. There is one extension of 5 years called for in the lease if they choose not to purchase it in 2027. It's a lot of stuff, so I'll pause for questions.
Okay. Is there a motion to approve the first reading of ordinance 2025-27?
Motion approved.
Second.
Motion from Mr. Chestnut, second from Mr. Louder. Any questions or discussion from council?
Yes, ma'am. Brian, on this lease agreement, the way this lease agreement is structured, that's a kind of an industry standard and what we've been doing all along 9th Avenue and other areas, correct?
Yes, sir. The document itself is, the majority of that has been our template lease. The ability to allow them to ramp up and get open for operations, we recognize that they will not be really generating any income initially. So abating the first 3 months, giving them some runway to get open and stabilized is a normal practice.
Thank you.
Brian, do you know if they will continue to bake fresh bread?
They do have intentions of baking fresh bread, yes.
I'm in.
Good.
I'm in.
Any discussion from the public? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All those opposed, motion carries.
Thank you.
Thank you. The next agenda item, first reading of ordinance 2025-28, has been continued. Do we have any other non-agenda items from the public?
No, Your Honor.
Okay. And I would like to Ms. Williams let you know that Chief Proc is going to talk with you when we go into executive session to explain some things to you, okay? Thank you. We do have one more executive session item, and that is a motion to go into executive session to discuss negotiations concerning contractual arrangements involving the Myrtle Beach Pelicans. We will invite Fox Simons, Will Bryan, Brian Tucker, Josh Bruger, Michelle Schumpert, Marla Bell, Meredith Denari, Amy Newshafer, and we will also invite David Carlock and Bill Musser into that executive session. May I please have a motion?
Motion to go into session.
Second.
Motion from Mr. McClure, second from Dr. Connor. Any discussion from council? Any discussion from the public? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All those opposed? Motion carries. And we will have that executive session in this room, so I would ask the media and all others to please excuse us because we need a larger room. And we thank you all for being here today.
He's gonna make it attorney work product.
Everything that we were given in executive session. Then you go pick it up from City Hall to review.
Anybody have notes? No?
I might have, but I already voiced them, so.
Maybe you ought to write your initials on yours so you can get yours back.
I already don't know which one it was.
Probably the one that doesn't have it.
Mics are hot, so we're ready. May I have a motion to come out of executive session?
So moved.
Does me no good now
Second.
for the notes.
Any discussion from council? Any other discussion? All those in favor? Aye. All those opposed, motion carries. Is there a motion to adjourn today's meeting?
So moved. So moved. Second.
I have a motion from Dr. Connor, second from Mr. McClure. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed, motion carries. And lunch is ready. When everyone is ready.